Hey, it is Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee. It's all brought to you by My Favorite Service Company, myfavoriteservicecompany.com. My name is Baron Wiley, and back here at the Bevy Hotel, the home right here in I said it's not downtown Boerne, Texas, but we are right in the heart of what's happening here with I-10 and everything going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's fall time. I've got Jacob McBee in the house. I've got Jake Pettit in the house, and I say welcome back, my friends.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of it, and always enjoy visiting Boerne here 3-4 days a week. At least. Jake probably more often than that. But
Yep.
yeah. And the cool fronts. I just enjoying that cool. I don't know about y'all, but I like the colder weather. I like wearing sweaters and felt hats, and I mean I wear blue jeans pretty much every day anyways. When I wear shorts, it looks like two neon tubes walking around in a pair of tennis shoes.
So in the spirit
So
of...
do you have white socks on? I don't know.
Well,
but anyways.
Since you are My Favorite Service Company, I like to sometimes ask, what is your favorite season, though? You like the fall, but...
Yeah, and, you know, I'm also a hunter.
That's what I was going.
Proud to be. And, yes, and, you know, there are certain times of the year that you get to do certain things. So,
Yeah.
you know, March, I love to go fishing. Take the boys fishing. It's a good time for me where I like to take them fishing.
Yeah.
And then as you come into, you know, October, November, some of my favorite times, you're starting to get out there in that cool weather and enjoy the outdoors. And, you know, it's not about just, you know, the hunting part of it, but it's the outdoors part of it and spending that time with the boys.
With your boys, yeah.
Out there in the deer blind. There's something about, and even, you know, girls and you know, family and friends, and just spending those one-on-one times for 2 and 3 hours in the deer blind. Those are times that you know you're by yourself completely, and you really get to talk about and open up to each other about what's going on. So yeah, that's probably got to be my favorite season. I enjoy taking my boys out, obviously. Enjoy taking friends out. Enjoy spending time out there with the girlfriend, and just generally having that camaraderie out there. And then you get back to deer camp, build a fire, barbecue.
Oh,
you
that's
know,
my favorite.
It's just amazing.
Besides hunting season, it's also football season, which
It
is
is,
another
it
part
is.
of your life that you get to share with your
yeah,
son
yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, so essentially, there's not a day of the week right now that we're not doing football practice or football games, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of them. They're doing great. They're blessed young men to play the sport and enjoy it as much as they do, and they do well with it. You know, shout out to Walker Carlton, my youngest one, nominated player of the game.
Hey!
Player of the game last week by his league, and yeah,
Awesome.
he is super pumped. But I don't know if he was more excited than I was
No, that's what
about
it's
the whole
about.
thing. But
Did he have a play? What did he do? What was the big?
He was just
that's
on
the guy.
it. You know, there were every game. Every play. He was just very involved.
100%, huh?
He defensively and offensively, he just did a really good job, and so they nominated him for that. But you know, it's something to walk away proud for. And
I wonder where he gets that from, Jake Pettit. Do you think this guy gets his ambition from anywhere?
Oh, his dad.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
You make me blush.
No, dude, I'm making you proud. I see your guys.
For
just
sure.
good guys, man.
Yeah,
And
thank
you
you.
surround yourself with good guys like this Jake Pettit guy over here too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got 2 daughters, and they're not to that point yet, but it won't be long, and he'll be doing the dance classes and the volleyball and the basketball and softball, and same sports, slightly different, but yeah, he's got something coming as far as that's concerned, because those girls are probably more involved in things than even the boys are.
Yeah. You having a good time over there, Jake, with your
Oh,
family?
having a blast. You know, we have a 3-month-old and a 5-year-old.
Here we go.
And so life's crazy right now, but it's also a great time, and it's a lot of fun.
And congratulations with being with Jacob McBee here with My Favorite Service Company.
Oh,
This is
thank
kind
you.
of the beginning of something really, really big, which, again, your focus, your swath, as I dare say, is this whole hill country thing, but you're serving all over Texas, really. You can go anywhere.
Yeah, we're you know,
One day at a time, of course, but
South Austin, we do a lot of work in Fredericksburg, quite a bit of work in Fredericksburg right now, and all the way down to, you know, into South Texas. We was in Charlotte the other day. We've got a lot of customers that very much depend on us, and so we have
and now's a good
scheduled
time,
service
right,
maintenance.
to get the service done, because
Oh,
we're
yeah.
in between the seasons. You need to get your heater ready, right?
Yeah, so important. getting ahead of that curve and making sure that you're checking it before it's too late.
You know what the
is
crazy?
important.
Yeah, the crazy thing is a lot of people think that summer's always a busy season, which it is a very busy season for us. And we have a little bit of kind of a maintenance season, I would say, for a month and a half. But then winter hits, and it's like summer over again for us. So we get really, really busy at that time. I mean, everybody does. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to supplement heat in the house because it's scary. Heaters can be scary. Whether it's electric or it's gas, it's scary for the customers because it's not like air conditioner. Yeah, if the air conditioner goes out, get a fan. You can do this, you can do that. You can go take a ride in the car. Throw a window unit in the window if you have to temporarily. But heating is a lot harder because heating takes a lot of power. You can't heat the house as well with a couple plug-in heaters that you plug in the wall because they consume so much power through the resistance heat. And then on gas, of course, if your gas heater's out, you don't just move another gas heater in the middle of the room.
Right.
Please don't do that.
Right.
You've got to make sure that actual central heating system is working properly.
Yeah.
And so, heating is
Well, that's a trade secret right there because it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
What you're saying.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to overwhelm your plugs in the house with electric heat, and you definitely don't want to move a live flame of any sort into
Next to the Christmas tree.
into the house.
Please.
Not only is it a fire hazard, but it's also the carbon monoxide. So again, if you've got gas heat of any sort in the house, and even if you don't, that's just great point here. Just came to mind. Even if you don't have gas appliances in the house, but you have an attached garage, make sure you've got good working carbon monoxide detectors in the house. Why would we want carbon monoxide detectors if our home's all electric? Why?
Your car? I don't know. What?
You go turn your car on in the morning, you go make a cup of coffee, and you're going to go right back outside, and then something happens, the dog runs out the gate, and then you're running down the road. Something happens that throws you off. And then you've got a running, operating car in that enclosed garage attached to the house.
Correct.
And then the air conditioner comes on and it starts to pull things in. And next thing you know, 30 minutes later, you're coming back in. Your house is now filled with carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is weightless, odorless, scentless. You don't know it's there until you start to have the symptoms. Sometimes that's too late. So just always recommend having carbon monoxide detectors in the house.
How do I solve that?
You just if you want to go to the big box retailers, you can do that. You can order them online, or you can call us, and we actually have the low level carbon monoxide detectors that you can put in your home, and those are the ones that they begin to sound around 5 parts per million. And then the other ones that you're going to get from the standard, online sources or big box retailers are around 70 parts per million. That's the standard that they set on carbon monoxide detectors. But I recommend trying to go with the low level because the other ones, sometimes that's, again, to a point that's a little too late. But getting off subject with all these things, but they're so important. And, and that's the beauty of the Real Trade Secret Show, right? Is we don't have a specific agenda other than make sure that everybody knows some trade secrets and some things to keep your eye out for. And we do get sidetracked a lot on things here, but I really enjoy it because I never go back and re-listen to a show, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Not because I just like to hear myself talk, but I like to make sure that we are staying on target as far as the trade secrets are concerned. And so that is a very important one that we want to just make sure everybody keeps at the top of mind as it comes into the heating season and talk about the safety of it because carbon monoxide is, it's weightless, odorless, and scentless. So it's they call it, and I'll just tell you what they call it. They call it the silent killer.
Yeah.
It's called the silent killer because it's just you don't know until sometimes it's too late, and it's bad.
Protect your home, your family, your pets, and all that. And now again, like you said, it's now's the very nice time to do that. Hey, with just a couple minutes left, do something else?
I was just going to say, if we're on the subject here and we're talking about the carbon monoxide, let's talk about what you should do if you begin to experience your alarms going off or what you believe to be carbon monoxide symptoms. So let's start off. What are some symptoms of carbon monoxide?
Okay.
You have any idea?
I might get lethargic.
A little lethargic, a little lightheaded, a little dizzy. Jake?
Flu-like symptoms.
Flu-like symptoms.
Oh, wow.
And the older you are, the younger you are, the more quickly it's going to affect you. And so please, please, please keep in mind how important it is for those that sleep a lot, don't talk a lot, hanging out a lot, or can't fully communicate to you exactly how they're feeling, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for symptoms that you see that are doing these things, because again, it's going to affect the people that can't communicate it as well, or that are sleeping a lot, so on and so forth. That's why the alarms are so important, but keep an eye out for those things. So if you do feel symptoms yourself, or you begin to see somebody else having those symptoms, whatever the case is, get outside,
Right.
get some fresh air. First things first, get some fresh air. Get out to a point where you can get some fresh air. And then if you feel that it's to a point bad enough that you need to call somebody, go to the neighbors, use their phone. Don't go back in the house to use your phone. Go back in there to get your cell phone. Don't go back in there for anything. Get everybody out of the house, dogs, animals, pets, people out. Stay outside in the fresh air. Go somewhere else and borrow a phone. Use a phone, the neighbor's phone, whatever the case may be. Don't go back in the house, because when those symptoms that you're beginning to feel are at that point, the depletion of oxygen is going to get worse,
right?
Because your body is needing that. So it's as it gets to that point, it's going to begin to get worse that much faster.
Wow.
Okay, and so some safety precautions there to think about. Keep an eye out for the symptoms, and if everybody or if anybody does begin to look like that you're thinking they do, or you feel like it, get outside, get some fresh air. Don't go back in the house. Call your fire department. Call your local fire department. After you've called them, call a service provider. Somebody that deals in gas appliances. Sometimes it's the plumber. Sometimes it's the AC guys. Of course, I'd always recommend calling my favorite service company. We've got all the monitors to do that, and come out and test, and then we can find where the problem is, what's causing that, and fix it. And hey, you might have a brand new house that you think is perfectly okay, and you think, well, there's no way I can have a problem, so everything in my house is brand new. We'll get to the house and we'll find that the water heater or the air conditioning system's flue cap flew off at some point. That's the little cap that covers it on the roof. And then the birds went in there, and then they made nests. And they made a nest, and then throughout the summer, they have no problems. Because they made a nest in there, the water wasn't coming through, so you never saw a water issue. And then the heating season starts off. That carbon monoxide that's unburned fossil fuels can't burn off and escape out of the house. They're coming back in the house.
Yeah.
So don't ever overestimate because I've got a new house or because of this or because of that. It's something to take very seriously and make sure that you do the right things and act quickly.
This is what Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee is all about. I hope you captured all that, and every one of these shows has a great takeaway, and so I hope if you're looking for those trade secrets to make your house run more efficiently, to have great air quality, prepare you for the winter, survive the summer here in Central Texas, this is what my favorite service company is all about. This is what Jacob McBee is all about, and again, we appreciate you listening. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee, and we'll be right back.
Thanks, man. Great. If you like and appreciate the tips and discussions we've had here and feel this added some value, please go below and hit the like button for us. You'd be doing us a huge favor. In addition, if you'd go below and just make a comment, that's a great gauge for us to continue to bring great trade secrets to you right here on Real Trade Secrets.
And welcome back to Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee. It's all brought to you by my favorite service company. We've been talking about a lot of stuff here. We just came off this heavy topic of carbon monoxide poisoning that can happen. Again, odorless, colorless, you don't know it's there, but you just gave some great tips. Just recap on that just for a second, and then we'll press on.
100%. So, again, we have Jake. Poor Jake, he's been sitting here waiting talking. I just go off on these tangents, and Barron asks one question, and then like he says, pull the string, and there he goes. So I apologize for that.
No.
We've got Jake Pettit here, and so what we've been talking about is the carbon monoxide and why carbon monoxide is so very important to keep an eye out for, and why it's nothing to mess around with, because once you start to see those symptoms, the symptoms are only going to increase faster and worsen as time moves forward. So carbon monoxide, if you think you've got an issue, keep an eye out for the elderly in the house. Keep an eye out for the children in the house, the ones that are sleeping a lot, can't talk or communicate exactly how they're feeling. If you start to see them being a little bit stumbly, dizzy, having flu-like symptoms, everybody get out, take the dogs out, and try to
don't worry about
stay
the cats.
outside. Yes. No. Baron.
know. You don't know my cat.
Hey, you know, fun fact, right quick. No, again, going off on this tangent. Did you know if you've got birds in the house, and Barron said canary earlier, if you got birds in the house, they're actually affected faster than all the rest of the animals. So grab them and get them out too.
Sure.
Whatever it may be. And I've got friends that when I was growing up, they had several birds in the house, and they were a lot of fun. So I could see where they could quickly become a family member.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, anyhow, to just going off a tangent there, don't forget the birds. They're affected quickly by it. So carbon monoxide, don't mess with it. Don't second guess it. Don't take any chances. Get everybody and everything out of the house. As far as living, breathing animals and people, and make sure you stay in the fresh air. Use your neighbor's phone, whatever. Don't go back in there. Don't go in there to go get your cell phone or use the phone.
Yeah.
Stay out. Call your local fire department, and then call your local service provider or My Favorite Service Company, myfavoriteservicecompany.com, 830-212-4222. And we'd be happy to come out with all the necessary equipment, find out exactly where it's at. And don't overestimate your house being because it's new or because of this or because of that. It can happen. It happens. Don't take a chance. Take it serious. Trust but verify as far as that's concerned. Trust your house, but if you got symptoms, you better get out and verify and make sure that you're not having a problem there.
Yeah.
But Jake, you're here, and we brought you into the show today because I wanted you to kind of tell us and talk about what you do on a daily basis. Is your full-time job there in the office is you're the service success leader, and you're dealing with the service success managers in the field. And we call them the service success managers in the field because in our org chart, in our company, we say all the field personnel are the managers because you're the ones dealing with the customers firsthand. And it's important for you to understand, as a manager of that customer's service success, you have full will and right to make sure they are taken care of fully and completely. And Jake Pettit's job in the office as their leader is he's going through and looking at what they're doing. He's verifying their pictures. He's verifying they're following these standard operating procedures and going through without missing any details so that customer gets the very best quality.
That's right.
And so, Jake, we talked about carbon monoxide, the gas appliances. We talked about the electrical side of things. So tell us some of the examples that you're looking at with the service success managers in the field as their service success leader to say, hey, this is okay. This is how this affects this. Or we know this is okay, and we verified it through this system, this process, and these pictures or videos.
Yeah, so let's just talk about, for instance, on a furnace. You have a flue pipe, right? The flue pipe goes directly outside. Typically, it's on the roof. One thing we're looking at, or I'm specifically looking at whenever our technician's out in the field, is that flue pipe properly connected? Is it connected to the furnace properly, where we're not leaking any kind of carbon and oxide in throughout the house? Is it properly secured? Another thing is I'm sorry,
can I ask you, what would make it get disconnected?
Anything.
Yeah?
I mean, other service providers being there that have probably messed with the equipment and
When they flush it out, maybe?
No, not even necessarily flushing out. Maybe taking off the doors, and maybe they accidentally bumped the flue pipe and it disconnected and they didn't even realize it. All kinds of different things that
Roofer, you recently had your roof inspected or replaced. You found it through that.
Even simple as maybe you're putting stuff inside your attic, and you accidentally, put a big box up there and it bumped the flue pipe and it disconnected completely. Little things. I mean,
and that's why he said secured. So, not only is it connected, but is it secured? And by code, we have to make sure it's secured. But a lot of times, especially we're out here in the hill country right now, and you're out in these rural areas. There's not a third party verifying inspector to look at these things, and that's where we always implement our third party verifications. Because if it's not secured as it's supposed to be when you're inside the city limits of certain areas, inspectors come out and they make sure these things are done when the house is built or when a system's replaced. Well, he's in his systems, standard operating procedures, and his video and pictures. His job as a third party verifier, as a service leader, is to make sure that those things are covered. So a good example, and I just come up with these all the time, but we had one some time back, and the system was a fully hanging system. So it was a horizontal system in the attic, and it was hanging through all thread, et cetera, et cetera. So it swayed a little bit, right? And all the ductwork was attached to that. And a customer went up to the attic, and they went to go put some boxes up there, and that ductwork, they hit the plenum. The plenum swung the furnace a little bit. When the furnace swung a little bit, the flue pipe itself wasn't connected and then attached to the furnace as it was supposed to, and then secured, so it bumped it off.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that customer noticed that. She calls, says, hey, is this a problem, so on and so forth. So yeah, we think it's a problem. Inside of 3 minutes, we got it back taken care of. We secured it and made sure everything was okay.
Sweet.
And then finished the rest of everything for her. But just something that simple, taking those Christmas decorations in and out of the attic, that happens. By chance, this was that. It fell off.
Yeah.
Again, this is a newer house, not brand new, but newer. And it was just one of those things. So, not to cut you off there, but you're looking at these specific things to make sure. So give us some more examples of other stuff you look at. Let's say not just on the gas systems, but maybe on electrical systems and what you're finding on those, on heat strips, amp draws.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. So another thing I'm verifying is you'll notice our technician when he's out in the field, he's going to be taking an infrared scan and also a picture of your electrical panel. For one, it's going to let us know what type of panel you have, because there's really 3 types of panel and they're obsolete right now. There's Zinsco, Sylvania, and FPE. Those 3 are already obsolete. Another thing we're looking at is the actual wire size that's feeding that breaker, because depending on the tonnage of the system, depends on what size wire needs to be feeding that breaker. Some customers, the older the system gets, they'll tend to notice that when the system kicks on, it'll trip that breaker. Well, I've ran into so many scenarios already that wire feeding that breaker is really undersized. It's the wrong breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the wrong wire. So we actually partner with an electrician who comes out, runs the circuit for us, and we install the correct size breaker. We replace their system. We do it all, but we wouldn't have figured that out if we would not have done the third-party verification from the get-go. And it's not about just going in and just installing systems and all that. We actually want to prove and verify everything before it's done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we
I'm
go.
not smiling, I'm smiling at the barista in the back.
Sounds good.
Smells good.
Everybody wants a soupy, frothy drink today. But yeah, he was talking about the infrared inspections of the panels. And the reason why that infrared inspection is so important is because, yes, circuits overheat, breakers get old. The wire that's inside of that breaker begins to get brittle. The connections begin to get loose. There's different things that cause those breakers to overheat. And when we take that infrared inspection of that panel, we're able to see these breakers here are overheating. And maybe it has nothing to do with us. Maybe it has something to do with something else. And maybe that's something that the customer chooses not to do anything about. That's not our choice. But the point to this is, we're being thorough as we inspect the entire operating system of the entire air conditioning system of the home to verify, is it as safe as it can be, as efficient as it be, is it providing the level of comfort it can to the homeowner, and if there's other things that are attached to that, we inspect and look at those things too. It's part of the service the guys go through, and that's why as we brought Jake here today and we go through these steps, because there's over 25 that he goes through and verifies with the technician. And inside of those 25, there's 3 or 4 that break out inside of each one of those. They have to make sure they visually inspect, take a picture, and share with him either the monitoring systems, the pictures themselves, infrared, gauges, whatever it may be. And he's looking at every one of them as the service success leader in the office, because we don't want to miss anything, because it's the little things that add up to be big problems, and our job is to make sure we prevent those for you so you have continued success and what you're looking for out of your air conditioning and heating system there.
Can we have Jake back again sometime?
Yeah,
Because I think we got a lot more to talk about
We
here.
can.
Well, the time
absolutely
goes by
can.
so fast. So Jake, thanks for being
Oh,
here today.
absolutely. Thank you.
And it was a
Been
great
fun.
great show today. Great
Yeah.
trade secrets shared. And so
Sorry I rambled so much.
Oh, no, dude.
no, dude.
He's
Meat and potatoes.
So recap, watch for it. If you see a problem, act on it, act quickly, make sure you take care of it. Carbon monoxide is nothing to mess with. If you think you've got a problem with it, get outside, get some fresh air, go somewhere that is safe. Call the local fire department, call your local service provider, and make sure that you don't take any second chances on that. And we're always here to help. MyFavoriteServiceCompany.com. Watch Real Trade Secrets. Like us. Go below, share, and leave us some comments. We always like to hear what you've liked about the show and what you just want to see more on the show, so that we could be a greater help to y'all, and it also helps us to gauge it for what we've provided so far.
And come by and watch the show, and we'll buy you a cup of coffee here.
Yeah.
How much is that? How much is the service, the third-party verification right now we got going on?
$49.
$49.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Awesome.
I say thank you, gentlemen. It's My Favorite Service Company, Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee.